Greetings, my friends. This is Maerlande with episode 3 of Lanka and the Devi of Darkness test. So let's have a look and see what's developed. We'll go back to messages for a minute. Now, this battle with Tir na Nog was somewhat of a problem. You can see my losses were very high and completely unsuccessful, and I didn't kill much of his. So what exactly was the problem? We'll run the battle, zoom in and take a look. If I remember correctly from last session, the big issue was banish. So I set up my bless. Here comes his cavalry. They're going to get around my front line, it looks like, and the banish is beginning. Now he's doing the banish. We'll pause here for a second with his hero, Lu the Prophet, Holy 4. Alright, so that's a serious problem. We're going to have to find a way to deal with that fellow. Otherwise we can't use expensive sacreds on him. Now I think we'll watch the battle here. I think a couple of the blood vengeances did penetrate against him, caused him a bit of damage. Well, so far he's in fine shape. The cavalry got around the back, and we cut him to pieces, and they run off, but he's still banishing me into smithereens. I can't see too much else that I can do. We wiped out those cavalry, now they're moving forward. But before they do enough damage to matter, he hits them with so many banishes, I run from loss of hit points. So that's pretty safe to say we know what the problem is there. I'm not going to watch the whole fight. We'll take a look at it again later. Now, the battle in Liss was where I conquered the independence covering the throne. So the first thing we want to do, I think, let's take a look at that throne, the Throne of War. Attack skill +1, spread some dominion and some morale. Okay, well that's excellent. So let's claim that throne with my pretender. In the interim, I'm going to use the Raksharaja and his crew of sacreds and move down towards some more expansion. Now here we have some cataphracts and light cavalries, but I believe he's got a sufficient crew of Palankashas to take that. And I'm going to take my basic troops, move them back to my fort with a move and patrol, and put them to work. We'll put a little province defense here, just a touch. Perhaps, given it's a throne, we'll put province defense 10 in place. Keep the unrest in hand. And this scout can move, well, we may need him back at the base. Here, I'm going to do some site searching. And back at home, research. Well, it may be time to start rolling out thugs. On the other hand, it would be very nice. I've got blood magic up to Feast of Flesh, which is very efficient in terms of mage time to get some pragashas. They're not much, but they're naked and they hit hard, and they have a lot of hit points. So I think we're going to put everybody on blood hunting for a bit. We brought a patroller in. Got no one else to blood hunt at the moment, but we'll bring the pretender back. Now over here, my prophet may as well head back for home. He's got a couple of guys with him. Now he's going to be behind PD now, so let's pull him back. PD is always stuck right smack in the middle here. So we'll pull him back and have him fight from a little bit off to the side. This scout could use a retreat order. Set him up that way. And then we're going to leave one of these scouts hidden, move another one in to keep an eye on Tir na Nog. We're still producing a scout a turn. Or perhaps not. Let's take a look. Recruit units. No, this isn't the scout province. It's back here. That guy got chased out by Atlantis, so not a heck of a lot of point of putting him back there. We'll just send him up and have him scout some more farther up. So I'm going to need a revamp of my methodology for dealing with Tir na Nog. Now this is a waste, so I'm going to have some movement troubles here. I won't be able to get back all the way to my capital. And I'm not ready to start building forts. There just isn't enough opportunity for that. So we'll move this scout a little deeper, start checking out the other areas. I see a Gartha has shown up. I doubt he's going to try to take out that batch of heavy cavalry. So now the burning question is, what do I want to recruit this time? I think I need another Raksharaja. And that ate up all my gold. but that's probably good enough for the time being. We'll go on with that. Okay, I think that turn's ready. Let's run it. I'm going to be working towards showing off some thugging, and one of the keys to thugging with an air nation is Alteration 3 and Mist Form. Very, very useful spell. Alright, I've claimed the Throne of War. No magic sites were found. Got 11 slaves in Lanka, and let's have a look here. We defeated his force as well. All he did was probe with a horse tribe chief. That's pretty trivial. I think he's going to come harder next turn though. But we'll be ready, I promise. Okay, we're still making scouts. We'll keep checking out what's going on. Let's set this scout on retreat. See if we can tuck him underneath that horde of crap from Atlantis. I suspect probably not, but we'll try. Okay, my pretender has claimed the throne. That province is utterly useless for everything except the throne, so we'll move her back to the base. Now, I really don't have anything yet that I can forge. There's no trinkets in my paths. So until I do some construction research, I can't do a thing to help out my pretender. Let's take a look at research. Okay, I'm pretty slowly moving forward, but I think I'm going to grab a little bit of construction research now instead of continuing on with blood magic. So once I get some 50 slaves, I'm going to make the effort to get those troops going. I'm going to put everybody on blood hunting for the time being. We've got a good batch of patrollers there. Put this guy on patrol, and we'll go with those efforts while we prepare to fight back. Alright, let's take a chance and see if we can get this to pull off. Check our army setup, hold and attack closest. Diraksharaj is just behind. He's tough as a bone anyways. So send him in. Give her. Hopefully we can take that cavalry. Bit of a high risk. Oh, what the heck is this? Just a second. Got some fire gems and a werewolf. Well, how sweet. I wonder if these are the same that summon... Oh, they do summon allies. Alright, we want to get him back to the capital and start summoning some allies. We'll send the Rakshasi off to do some more site searching. And I don't really have the options here. One thing that's interesting, we'll take a look here. If we change shape, we turn the Rakshasi into a seducer. Seduction is very rarely successful, but a failed seduction is an assassination attempt. At the moment, I don't have the alteration magic or the gear to have her have much success against something like that Lou, the longhand hero. So we'll stick her back into her regular shape and put her on blood hunt. I want to get those 50 slaves, get those 15 Praghasas, and have a bit more army to work from. In the interim, let's save a little cash, buy a cheap blood priest, max out my sacreds, and that should be this turn. I'm satisfied. Got a little bit of growth, so we'll move on. Let's process. I'm trusting that Tir na Nog, having put 2 armies together on my border, is going to move towards me now, which will send him directly at my capital. And that's not a bad place. I don't like losing provinces early in the game like this, but sometimes you just have little choice. Alright, I got 34 blood slaves. In the Grey Forest, he came through, took out my province defense. Oh, and he's not using hero. Didn't show up. Well, that's good. Now, what's he doing over here? That's me. Oh, and I succeeded. How excellent. Without even a single loss. I'd like to see how that battle worked. I know they're good troops, but I would have thought I had taken a loss or two from those heavy cavalry and their lances. Something to note for anybody who hasn't used heavy cavalry and lances. The full lance is only good for one fight. The light lance keeps working, but that initial strike is very painful. We'll speed things up and take a look. Bless is up. Should be getting some smiting coming here. Oh, I see. No, he's not a smiter. That's my prophet. Wow, look at that. Curt chunk. And they're gone. That's pretty sweet. Well, I think we've seen enough. There really just isn't any chance of him at all. Well, I wasn't sure that I could take out heavy cavalry that easily, but now that we know, that's excellent. Let's see, Agartha did a fight, beat the Independents, had some moderate attrition. An unexpected event, some gems. Well, gems are always good. Now, how much unrest do we have? 33 unrest. Well, I'm going to put everybody here on research. Take them off duties of blood hunting, because the province is at its maximum. We'll use Shift Z to unload his slaves, my pretender's slaves. Let's load up what we've got here for sacreds onto my prophet. And we'll leave these guys patrolling. And let's start that werewolf on summon allies. Get some wolves as additional patrollers. The question now becomes, what should I do with my pretender? Well, let's look at the province and see if I have a blood hunting province. What we're looking for, oh, and there it is, 5,000 population. Looks like that's the only one I have. Ooh, that's a very nice province. 18,000 population, serious income. Let's put some good province defense there. Get the unrest down. Now Agartha, that's its capital, and he hasn't taken the one adjacent to it. If I take that, that's gonna make Agartha pretty darn aggressive. But I'm going to do it anyways. He's using archers, pale ones, and pale one militias. Okay, well those are complete garbage troops. There should be no threat whatsoever there from my troops. I'm going to move this guy, the Atavi captain, Atavi chieftain, into Agartha's capital to keep an eye on what's going on, and I'm going to try to take that province. He's built some stone hurlers, villains, and pale ones. Now the hurlers might hurt, they're also going to take a hard hit. And right here, we're going to do some searching. And we're going to send off a couple of cheap blood hunters. So we're going to send our little holy one, blood one priests. The pretender, I think we're going to check research. Got a little bit of construction going. She's got very high levels of research. Let's put her on research for a bit. I really don't want to send her against something like what Tir na Nog's using until I have an additional level of gear on her. So I want to get at least a construction too, something beyond trinkets. And for my prophet, I think the way I've got it set up, I'm going to split these two in half into 2 squads, and I'm going to set 1 squad on each side of the province defense. Just flanking it. On hold attack. Yeah, hold attack closest. Same for the second unit. And they are currently in no formation. They're small squads. I'm going to leave it like that. I think I want to have their additional morale. We'll send the prophet here to help defend this province. It's got a PD of 10. So hopefully we can keep Tir na Nog off balance and out of my territory. Let's scout a little deeper everywhere. Move on to a second row of independent provinces. I'm kind of surprised. The AI does very odd things. All of those independent provinces, some of them right beside his capital, and instead of dealing with those, he's busy trying to bash on me. Well, we're going to make him pay. Okay, now it's time to do a little recruitment. So I really do need cash right now, and I need some cheap blood hunters. So let's continue the process of buying a cheap blood hunter and some palancashes. Okay, I'm going to wind up this video here and process this turn. We'll take a quick look at the messages and call it done for today. Processing's still going pretty quick. It'd be nice if it went a little faster, but I run a pretty old computer, so I built this thing in 2007. Still does the job, and domains isn't a very heavy load. Okay, level 1 of construction is completed. Level 2 will be completed next turn. Excellent. Tir na Nog went and fought somebody with some Ictiids. And an Ictiid lord, minimal losses, but it was a very light province. He attacked me. Ah, how satisfactory. I cut him to shreds. And then, in Nomeria, Agartha attacked me, and I cut them to shreds. Is there 2 Numerias? Oh, I see. Let me take a look at that again. Oh, no, that was me versus the Independents in the first one, and then Agartha coming at me. Tirn and Og did not attack me. Unexpected event. Oof, that's a lot of unrest. That was a nasty event. Right here. Painful. Oh well, I guess we should try putting up the province defense here. Okay, I'm going to leave that for now. We'll have another look at it in the next video. Hopefully, I'll get it done later today, and I'll keep up the 2 per day that I'm trying to produce while I've got some time off. Thanks, my friends. I hope to see you in game. Goodbye.